India is working round the clock to ensure the safe evacuation of its citizens from Ukraine under Operation Ganga. India will operate 26 flights over the next 3 days to fly back Indian citizens who have moved from Ukraine to neighbouring countries. Now, in the latest, Indian Air Force's C-17 left for Romania for evacuation efforts this morning. It is the first such Indian Air Force flight to be sent for evacuation of Indian nationals. Apart from this, 3 more Indian Air Force aircraft are scheduled to fly to Poland, Hungary and Romania on Wednesday, that is today, and to ramp up evacuation efforts under Evacuation Ganga, which was launched last week. The Government of India has scheduled 46 flights till the 8th of March, out of which 29 will take off from Bucharest, 10 from Budapest, 6 from Poland, 1 from Slovakia. Meanwhile, in the last 24 hours, 6 flights have already departed for India. This also includes the first flight from Poland. And taking to Twitter, Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that around 1,377 Indian nationals were brought back from Ukraine. And while addressing a press conference, Indian Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said that the Indian embassy in Kyiv has been shut and that all the Indians have now left the Ukrainian capital.
Now in Kyiv, following the lifting of the curfew during the day yesterday and today, our mission had issued an advisory proposing that our students and community members leave Kyiv, use trains, use different options to leave Kyiv. I understand that since then, all of our nationals have left Kyiv.
Shringla further affirmed that New Delhi's top priority is to evacuate Indian students from Kharkiv, which is Ukraine's second largest city, and has turned into a war zone in recent days.
The function of the team is to examine all the options in terms of, the route out, accommodation for our people, the transportation options. Essentially, this team is in place and ready to see whatever we can do to extract our students and citizens from the Kharkiv-Sumy area.
And for more on this, we're now being joined by Principal Diplomatic Correspondent Siddhant Sibal. Thank you so much for joining us. Siddhant, can you start by bringing us up to speed with India's evacuation effort, Operation Ganga?
Well, we know that more flights are coming from the countries bordering western Ukraine, but it is, of course, tense atmosphere here in Delhi. It has been, of course, longer days in terms of meetings after meetings. We do expect the Prime Minister to meet sometime later this day for a review meeting on Operation Ganga. And, of course, longer nights as well, because remember, earlier in the day at 3 a.m., we know that the Indian Air Force flight left for Romania, not only carrying the relief material, but also will be bringing the Indian nationals who have crossed the border. But as of now, I can give you a detail as to how many Indians are present in the country and outside the country now in Ukraine.
Right.
60% of Indians who were present in Ukraine starting the 1st of February have now left. The 40% of Indians are still there in Ukraine. 20% of these Indians are at the western border, at the border with Slovakia, Poland, Hungary and Romania. But 20%, this is a number which of course is concerning for everyone. 20% are in conflict zone like Kharkiv. India has reached out to Moscow and Kyiv calling for a safe passage.
Right, absolutely. Also, just for more clarity on this, Siddhant, we know that evacuation efforts are being helmed by union ministers from 4 of the neighbouring countries. What is the plan going forward from these neighbouring countries?
Well, most of the ministers have reached on the ground. We have got the visuals as well. And these ministers basically coordinating efforts on the ground, how to bring about these Indian nationals back home. But largely, it is a multi-pronged effort because it's just not the people on the ground, the ME officials. Remember, India has sent a number of ME officials from across the world, Russian-speaking ME officials to these countries. But also remember the diplomatic and the political conversation. Yesterday, the Indian Prime Minister had a conversation with the President of the European Council, with the French President Macron, and with the Polish President. Today also I expect more conversations because the high-level conversation is something that is being done so that India can raise its concern. And of course, the European countries as well, they are keen to have India on board when it comes to diplomatic actions, especially at the United Nations Security
Right.
Council and the General Assembly, where there will be the all-important vote, which will happen later today at 8:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time.
All right, Siddhant, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed with the operations there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.